ESPN FC live, and it's great to have you with us. The Champions League is back. We are very happy. We're warming you up for that. We're also going to be talking about Bayern Munich, Bayern or bust. Is there a title challenger in Bayer Leverkusen? And if it isn't them, who is it to challenge this year? And when it comes to PL Express as well, one of the big topics right now is Manchester United. As you can see, Rob Dawson is with us. He's come very prepared. He's actually in Germany at the Allianz Arena ahead of Bayern meeting with Manchester United. So we'll get more from him in just a moment on that. Janusz Michallik with me, Kay Murray, as always. Let's start with the Champions League then. We're going to go bigger picture. We're going to talk about the front runners in this one. Manchester City, the favourites to defend the title this season. Behind them, you're then looking at the likes of Bayern, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Barca, PSG. What are your thoughts, Janusz, on who's going to win it this season?
Well, for me, obviously, Manchester City are the favorites to repeat that. I don't think much has changed. As always, Pep Guardiola, Manchester City improved, just as you think that they lose some key players. They're able to retain some that are very important. And before we even, talk about how impressed we've been with Jeremy Doku and maybe some of the players missing, I think some of the keys to Manchester City is the fact that leaders like Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva are staying. That, to me, is the most important thing because of the experience, obviously quality, but the hunger, because we talk about hunger of Manchester City. Are they going to maintain it, right? Pep Guardiola is the sort that that he's going to maintain his intensity in terms of motivation. But I think Kyle Walker, as we all know, is that type of leader as well. And Bernardo Silva is too, maybe a little bit quieter, but key. So for me, given the group that they have, given the great start to the Premier League they have right now, I think they're just going to maintain a certain level until, comes February when, De Bruyne and key players are ready and healthy, and they'll have plenty of time to rotate and make sure that they don't have to rush some of these players. I really don't see anybody at this moment that is going to challenge them.
But let's focus on if there was to be a bit of a surprise, Rob, if we can. Is there a team that you would pick out to have a bit of a surprise from this season?
As daft as it's going to sound, I do think that if the cards fall right for Man United, they have an opportunity to go quite deep in the tournament. They've got players in Casemiro and Rafael Varane who have won it before. They have experience, maybe not experience with United in those big games, but experience in those big Champions League games. United were inconsistent last season, but did show that on their day they could beat anyone at home. They beat they won a two-legged tie in the Europa League against Barcelona. They beat City at home. They beat Liverpool. They beat Arsenal. They beat Tottenham. I'm not suggesting that they're nailed on to get to a semi-final or a final. The point is that Man United still, I think, could beat anyone on their day, and that is very dangerous in the Champions League. Sometimes we've seen in Champions League campaigns that the best team doesn't always win it. It's the team that can find a way to get through these big ties, and United certainly have the players to do it. Obviously, it's very easy for me to sit here and say that they can do it. It's a different matter altogether than actually doing it. But sat here right now, if they can get through that group, certainly, obviously a tough group with Bayern Munich in it, but if they can get through that, there won't be a team in Europe who would want to draw Man United. There'll be managers across Europe in the knockout round thinking, I'd rather avoid Man United. Man United have the capability to get these big results. So, obviously, again, very easy for me to sit here and say it. United would have to go and do it, but they certainly have the capability to surprise a few people in the tournament this year.
You are a brave man to come.
I think some Manchester United bigwigs have just walked into the room that he's in, and so he's just saying what they want to hear. Are you really that much against it, though, Janusz?
I mean, look, they'll get better than what we see. It's a toxic environment for so many reasons that we often talk about here. Be it Premier League Express. I'm sure we're going to get to that later. But look, I mean, the toxic environment right now, some of the injuries, the ownership issues, I just don't see how. I mean, look, I'm never going to say that it's impossible because it is Manchester United. But, if I were asked that question, I'd probably put Real Madrid, Bayern Munich ahead of them because I truly think that, of course, they're going to challenge Manchester City. They have their own issues, I suppose, but they're easier to solve than Manchester United, even when they're healthy, I think. And if I had to throw an outsider, it would be an Arsenal team before I even threw Manchester United. So that's why I think you're a brave man. And, if this comes good, Rob, my goodness, you are the man.
They'll get battered by Bayern tomorrow.